MVFF Swansea, Season 6, Matchday 12 with your coach Howell. What a night. Trying something a little different tonight, and I'm doing it on the night instead of having that little point of reflection and then going for it. I'm trying to get this out and get it going for everyone to immerse themselves in it as soon as possible. An absolutely fantastic night. And one of the high points of this week for me more than anything, as well as the fantastic commitment that I've seen tonight from our community, is that I received an email from somebody talking about MVFF and identifying MVFF Swansea not only as the largest league or the largest club in the UK, but actually identifying them as the largest club in the world, which was a very much so a proud moment to myself as well as your coach. And you should all feel proud of that as well. We're all part of this, and we're continuously building, which is a lush experience just to witness and also be part of, but just to sit there and see how this club is almost just replicating over and over and just building and building into this absolute powerhouse going into season 7 and our enormous expansion, enormous point of going into 16 teams, 2 whole leagues of just non-stop weight loss in football, and it's absolutely gorgeous to see. Less of that, more of this, and let's go through it. So then you can see, first slide, always as usual, and I've obviously heard enough feedback today to realise that the people who listen to this week in, week out, there's a quick fast forward happening right now when I go through this, but it is the rules, it is what we need to look at here. So then of course, own goals, they are the goals that, and when you hit your season starting weight, that's obviously the point. That is your yardstick. That is your milestone element where you've got to make sure that you go underneath for the season. If you go over it, it is an own goal. If you are still over it and you lose weight, it doesn't class as an own goal, but it also cancels out. So then you don't earn goals for your team until you're under your season starting. But of course, you will not incur an own goal if you keep losing weight towards that season starting weight. Milestones. Multiples of 5, you know the score by that by now. If you hit the multiple of 5 on a milestone, it's 3 goals for your team. And then of course the weekly team bonuses, 1 to 2 players is a goal for the team, 3 to 4, 2. Going forward to that, 7 and 8 is 4, and then over 9 and over players losing weight is 5 goals for your team. And of course the hat-tricks, the legendary hat-tricks, which potentially could come into play next week. Of course, if you lose weight for 3 weeks, is considered an extra goal for your team there. And especially as we're coming closer and closer to those final games of the Cup, we need those hat-tricks, and I'm looking forward to seeing how those go. Moving on. So, Matchday 12, this is how it went, and it was absolutely gorgeous to see 69.5% of our members attending. That's 98 guys coming in to weigh in and play, which is lush to hear and to see. Gwyr first. Trackers. On the tracking points, black and green had the goals for the tracking. Fantastic. Well done, guys. Team loss bonus goal goes to light green. Attendance bonus goals go to green. And our season 6 percentage leader for the Cup, of course, is Mr. David Scone. And I can tell you right now that there's the difference of 0.01% between yourself and who's second, and there's another 0.02% from yourself and who's third place. So it's getting really close to the Gwyr league there, really close. On Copr's end, of course, tracker bonuses went to blue, team bonus goals went to blue as well, and the attendance went to yellow. Congratulations there to blue and yellow, of course, with our season 6 percentage leader with a whole 1.5% difference between yourself and second place is our very own Mr. Ross McKnight. Well done, buddy. Fantastic achievement there. Pitch goals at 42, scales goals at 39, and coaches goals at 20 give you a clear indication there of where we are at with the Rumble, and of course the amount of goals that have been provisioned by myself as your coach. Let's move on. So, the weekly team loss. We had Thinner to Winner at 0.7, Fat Astuta 7.2, Incredible Bulks at Breaking even, of course. Sporting the Beak at 4.1, Marco Bunfastin 1.2, and Flying Dutchman breaking even. Scranra at 7.3, Vinda Blues at 7.1, Pink Panthers at 0.3 kilos, Fazio then at 6.1, Forest Green Bloaters at 7.4, and of course we have there Fat and Furious at 3.4 kilos, giving us an overall club loss there at 41.9 kilo loss, guys. Fantastic achievement there, which then also gives us a weekly club loss, a total club loss for the entire of season 6 at 452.2 kilos, which is so close, with 2 weeks to go, so close to hitting our half a ton target there. We're nearly there, guys. We're nearly there. We hit another. If we hit half of what we've done this week, next week, we're in grasping distance to that. Amazing losers, of course. We've had some amazing losses this week. So we had Carl May at 3.5 kilos. Chris Stevens then at 2.9, and our mighty Scott Hansen then at 2.8 kilos. Fantastic there. And then, of course, for Copr, Stuart Page comes in with a 2.7 kilo loss. Scott Jones smashing it with a 2.5 kilo loss there. And AFD with a 2.3 kilo loss. Absolutely tremendous to see. But on top of that, guys, we had an absolute plethora of milestones. Let's start from the start. 5%. Welcome to the clubs, guys. Gavin Mayrick, Simon Petherbridge and Nathan Locke smashing in their 5% there for their respective teams. Fantastic to see. And that 10%, Jordan Gilbert, you absolutely hammered that 10% in, and that is yours to keep forever, mate. Fantastic to see. 15%, Nathan Hicks, Phil Davis, you absolutely obliterated that, and your journeys have been fantastic to watch. Honestly, I'm in absolute awe of how your progress is becoming. But this is the one, guys. This is the one that we got to identify. 45%. First time ever in Swansea we've hit a 45% there. Mr. Chris Shaw, the machine, the GOAT himself, hits his 45%. And the first thing that was said by somebody as soon as those applause came in today is that he's half the man he used to be. And then it's there. It's there for you to see. 45%, guys. The progress is unreal. The inspiration is unreal. Mr. Shaw, you're an absolute legend. Take a bow. Just take a bow. That is absolutely tremendous to see. And honestly, words can't express it. Words cannot express the progress you're making. Congratulations, Browd. Congratulations to you. And here's the results of tonight's games. So we have on Gwyr on the left, Copr on the right. So let's start from the start. Why not? Fat and Furious and Fat Astuta came on against each other as the first game for the Gwyr League. Pitch scores 4-2 to Fat and Furious. Have I got that right? Yes, I did. 4-2 the Fat and Furious. Scales then was 6-5 to Fat and Furious. Tracking was 3-all and bonuses were 1-all, giving us a overall there of 14 goals to 11 to Fat and Furious. Second goal in Gwyr's games as well was Scranra against Thinner to win it. A pitch score was 3 goals to 4 to Thinner to win it. Scales, of course, with the milestones that we received. Scranra 9 and Thinner to win it with 1. Tracking then was 3 goals to 2 to Scranra with bonus goals at 1-all, giving an overall there of 16 goals to 8 to Scranra. Congratulations, guys. And at Forest Green Bloaters against Incredible Bulks, the final game, the head-to-head. Lots of people are looking forward to seeing this. And the pitch ended up at a modest 2-1 to Incredible Bulks. Scales then was 4-0 to Forest Green Bloaters. Tracking was 3-all and bonuses was 3 goals to 4 to the Incredible Bulks, giving an overall there of 11-9 to Forest Green Bloaters. Fantastic win and well deserved as well with the amount of effort that you've been putting onto the scales this season. On to Copr, we had Pink Panthers against the Flying Dutchmen. The score on the pitch was 1 goal to 8 to the Flying Dutchmen. The scales was 3-0 to Pink Panthers. 2-2 on tracking with no bonus goals given, and of course that would give an overall there of 6 goals to 10 to the Flying Dutchman. The second game, of course, was Fazio against Sporting Llobregat. The pitch score was 1 goal to 10 to Sporting Llobregat. Scales then was 5 goals to 2 to Fazio. 2 goals to 3 on tracking to Sporting Llobregat, with 1 goal to 2 on bonuses to Sporting Llobregat, giving an overall there of 9 goals to 17 to Sporting Llobregat. Congratulations, guys. And then the last game, which was Vinder Blues against Marco Banfastin. Pitch score was 2 goals to 4 to Marco Banfastin. Scales was 7 goals to -1 to Vinder Blues. Tracking was 3 goals to 2 to Vinder Blues, with bonuses of 5 goals to 1 to Vinder Blues as well, giving an overall of 17 goals to 6 to Vinder Blues. And that has had a detrimental difference and change to our league standings. So this is the overall league standings at this moment in time. So if we go with Gwyr first of all, with Forest Green Bloaters on the top with 4 points, leading then with Incredible Bulks, Scranra, Fat and Furious, Thinner to Win It, and Fat Astuta following up there. And it's still a very close game. You look at the goal difference, you look at the scores, and you look at the points, guys, you can see that this could change any moment. Next week, that table will look completely different. And I echo exactly the same thing with Copr. With Vinder Blues at 4 points on the top there, riding high. We've got Sporting Llobregat, Marco Banfastin, Pink Panthers and Flying Dutchman with 2 points each, separating themselves merely by goal difference, and very close goal difference by then, at that point. And then, of course, Fazio there with yet to win, but honestly, anything can change. You've got 2 games to go, and literally it all to play for, guys, and every single person is still in this. And on the scales, you can see it's a complete flip. It's a complete flip there, and the way that it's going. So then with Gwyr, we had Scranra, Forest Green Bloaters, and Fat and Furious there with 4 points each, with Fat Astuta, Incredible Bulks, and Thin It to Win It yet to win on the scales. And then with Copr, we've got Vinder Blues, Fazio, and Pink Panthers still with 4 points each there. And then with Sporting Llobregat, Flying Dutchman and Marco Banfastin yet to put points on the Scales League. However, as we're halfway through, anything can change. Just anything can change. And this one is the one that we take measure on as well, of course. Is this going to change? Yes, it is. And this is the team of the week, guys. So we'll go from it, and we'll take this now exactly what it's like on the page that I've got in front of me. So Nathan Hicks from Fat Astuta, 15% mate, fantastic to see, well done. For Scranra then, Chris Shaw, Simon Petherbridge, and the mighty Scott Hansen there. Chris Shaw with his 45%, Simon Petherbridge with his 5%, and Scott then smashing in a 2.8 kilo loss to contribute to his team. Fantastic to see there. Thinner to Win It, Carl Bamford, 1.1 kilo loss there. Brilliant to see. And then, of course, for the Incredible Bulks, we had Jake Williams with 1.3 kilo loss. Fantastic. Gavin Mayrick there for the Fat and Furious, hitting in as 5%. And Chris Stevens racking up a good 2.9 kilo loss there for the Forest Green Bloaters. Jordan Gilbert for Fazio, of course, with a 10%. Fantastic to see there, mate. Fantastic. Also for Phil Davis with his 15% for the Pink Panthers. Brilliant to see there, guys. Nathan Locke, 5%. Welcome to the Milestone Clubs, of course. And that is there for the Vinder Blues, with Regan Purdue coming in with a 0.8 kilo loss for the Flying Dutchman. Andrew Francis Davis, a 2.3 kilo loss there for Marco Banfastin, and Jamie Howard then smashing in a 1.4 kilo loss for the Sporting Llobregat. Congratulations to every single one of you, and honestly, I couldn't be prouder of our team of the week. It's brilliant to see the progress that each and every one of you is making. And of course, the Rumble. This is where we're at this moment in time. We've got the Rumble. We've got 18 guys remaining in it. This is 12 weeks in with 18 guys still slogging into it. And I know I say it every single week and I should be showing it, but what I want to do is build the momentum. So then following next week's games, I will be announcing who is still in the Rumble. I will then put those onto the screen for everyone to see, and it'll give that last week push for every single person in that rumble to try and stay in it for that final week. It's honestly, it's a fantastic competition. It's a fierce competition, and it is something that we in Swansea are very proud of. The medals have been purchased, and honestly, guys, I'm quite impressed with these ones. Not like, you know, it was a labour of love with the last ones, but these ones I've got into it, and I hope that you are happy with the produce. Okay, fixtures for next week. Oh, of course, it says Matchday 11. That should say Matchday 13. I do apologise for that, but these are the matches that we've got going on next week. So at 7 o'clock, we've got Thinner to Win It against the Forest Green Bloaters, and then Sporting a Beergut with Vinder Blues still continuing exactly the same, 7 o'clock on the other pitch. At 7:30 then we've got Incredible Bulks against Fat and Furious, with Marco Van Fastin going up against the Pink Panthers. And at 8 o'clock we've got Fat Astuta against Scranra, and Frying Dutchman against FC Fazio. They sound like fantastic games. I'm really looking forward to it. Genuinely, the Tuesdays are my new favourites. So honestly, guys, you've made this for me. It's been absolutely lovely being your coach. It's been gorgeous being part of this season 6, and honestly, you make me feel absolutely tremendous every single time we have those conversations. I've had plenty of conversations with people this week regarding tracking and how to track, how to get these, what exactly the benefits of tracking, how can you get the most out of it. And one thing I noticed was that you can listen to, and I had this conversation earlier on, and I'll relay a little bit of it, but then you can listen to every single fad diet. You can go through and you can try these different things. You can cut your carbs. You can intermittently fast. You can do all these different things, but realistically, getting to know your own body and how your body reacts to whatever you're eating, and what time of the day is right for you to eat, and how you're going to do this and how you're going to do that. The consistent thing about it all is tracking. If you track, you understand the differences between a good week and a bad week. And that is something that I would say to every single person. Now, you don't need to be tracking on specific apps or specific books and this. It's just keeping a record of what you've been consuming. Really, it would be a pretty good idea to identify when you're consuming them as well, because it could well be a point that you're eating too late. That could be something. But then all these different things, when you're tracking, the benefit to it is you start getting to know your own body and how it works, and then you can see what works for you. So please, if you're going to do anything this week, and if there's anything that you're going to plan on starting and you haven't started it yet, tracking is the boy. Tracking is the one, and keep consistent on it, because that there is the game changer. I've been your coach. It's been an absolute pleasure doing this roundup, guys. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week.